Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris Grimm, aka Mr.REAPER, here to give you guys another podcast. This time I'm actually soloing it by myself. Something I've been meaning to bring you guys for a good minute, and here I am, finally gonna try and give it all on my own. I know it's been a minute, and I know I said in the last video that I was gonna do more, but life happens, and I have been all over the place. I know last time we were talking about concerts and stuff, and I went to those shows. Wound up actually going to Denver, taking a trip out with my best friend. We went and saw Mudvayne. It was a fucking phenomenal show. I can't tell you enough how badass that show was. And the party never stops. The following week, I went to Mudvayne here in Albuquerque, and then I still have a bunch of shows to go to, including the next one's coming up is Slipknot. They're going to be here. Don't care for the full lineup, and to be honest, I'm a huge Slipknot fan, obviously, but I'm just not like the biggest fan of their current product and how they've been running things. But I'm still going to go mainly because it's the first time since 2008 that I've seen both them and Mudvayne on the same year, so it's kind of nostalgic for me. So I was like, you know what, I might as well just go. So I got front row for those ones. Technically pit, but you know what I mean. Anyways, I got them, and then coming in October, I want to say the 14th, it's Lamb of God with Killswitch Engage, and that show is going to be fun because I'm actually going to be able to mosh and move around a lot more. Slipknot, it's like, you might find people who will get into it, but like, as I've noticed, you know, as we get older, a lot of people don't really care to mosh during certain bands, and Slipknot's starting to fall into that kind of category. So the last time I was there, it wasn't as fun as I was thinking it was gonna be. It was Slipknot with Killswitch Engage. Killswitch absolutely killed it. Like, they kind of stole the show in my opinion. But yeah, Slipknot was just a bunch of dumbasses, honestly, like in the crowd. I did not have any fun. I'm just gonna be frank with you. This was the least funnest I ever had at Slipknot, and it was kind of weird too because I had extremely short hair. For some reason, I felt like cutting my hair super short, and I wholly regret it. But you know, the long hair deviant is coming back. My hair is finally getting longer again. But regardless, I'm gonna have fun at this Lamb of God Killswitch Engage show coming up in October. I've always been a fan of both of them. A really good friend of mine, she's the one who got me into Killswitch, and I go to every show now because I was never a fan of Howard Jones. I mean, he's an awesome vocalist, don't get me wrong. I still like the album and work he did, but I prefer my boy Jesse Leach. And I had the pleasure of meeting that guy at the Killthrax tour. I had left Anthrax early because they already had played all the songs I wanted to hear. I was tired. And I was literally going all night because I went to go see Killswitch, and they just were badass. And then Anthrax came out and was just so much fun. But I was already burnt out, so I left the venue earlier, and just by some miracle, I just ended up running to Jesse Leach, and it was so cool to see him and talk to him. And he signed one of my albums. I think I want to say it was Alive, Just Barely Breathing album. I just in case, because some of the venues here in ABQ, you have a really good shot at meeting the band. So usually I'll bring something just in case, and he was there and he signed it. It was so cool to talk to him, meet him. I still have the picture. It was really fun. And so I can't wait to see them take stage. It's been interesting, to say the least, seeing Killswitch Engage on a huge stage such as the, it used to be called the Journal Pavilion, but now it's called the Isleta Amphitheater. But it's it's one of those giant ass sold out band style kind of stages. So it's kind of cool to see them up there. Going from seeing them from like a smaller venues to those giant ones, so it's going to be interesting. And then Lamb of God always brings it every time they come. The only thing I'm kind of disappointed in is it's the same freaking set list every year. They're starting to get that way, and it kind of bugs me. But it's whatever. I go for the fun. I go for the pits. I go for the jumping and singing and just running around. I'm hoping my knee is healed in time for that because I'm still having some issues. I don't know. One of my coworkers thinks that it's some stuff underneath my my main tendon. There's like some stuff that has to be broken up. And some stuff I was reading, it's possibly my upper tibia. It just has some splints in it, so I've been nursing it the last 3 months. I got it from when I was playing flag football, so it's been a pain in the ass. And I did go with this fucked up knee at Mudvayne, and I did jump around and move around, and let me tell you, it was painful. But when you're moving and you're that juiced up and you have nothing but adrenaline and music pumping through your vein, you really just don't care at that point. So, following Lamb of God with Kill Switch Engage, it's going to be Hatebreed in November. Me and Hydra are actually going to go to that together. I bought us VIP tickets. I swear, I spoiled the shit out of that guy sometimes. Love you, Davey. But we're gonna have an opportunity to go meet the crew again. I met Hatebreed once at the it was the Megadeth tour. I guess it was like a Gigantour, if you want to call it that, but it was Megadeth, Lamb of God, and Hatebreed. I believe I talked about on this channel. If I didn't, I'll probably talk about that some other time, because that was a fun show. It was literally the first show, metal show since COVID hit, that came through town, and it was a wild one. It was a lot of fun. But I got to meet them then, but they weren't very interactive because of the whole COVID thing, so they didn't want people touching and getting close to each other. So this time they're not going to be doing that. They're going to actually allow interaction, so it's going to be really cool. Plus, I believe this is going to be Dave's first time meeting them. So I need to find me a Rise of Brutality album. I know I have it somewhere tucked away. I just got to find it because I want to get that signed by Jamie Josta. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And then following them, it's going to be Machine Head. They are touring for the of Kingdom Come album that just dropped. They're doing a world tour for that one. They're coming here December 20th. So it's kind of a birthday gift to me. I might try and convince my boys to go to that one too. If not, no sweat. I usually go to Machine Head by myself, or I usually meet up with one of my friends over there, because she usually goes every year. Definitely got the VIP on that one, just because they're VIPs. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, they are 1000% worth it. They make sure you get your money's worth. Like they will. Let me put it this way: they will not only make you feel welcome, like you're at home, but if you do not take a picture with them, they will hustle you to take a picture with them. They will not leave you alone until you get at least one photo with each band member. Like, if you're a huge Machine Head fan and if you ever thought about getting their VIPs, I highly, 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 highly recommend it. The bands are always awesome. They're very chill, laid back. They're very respectful. They'll sign anything you bring in. They will sign it. They will make your money's worth there. It is so awesome. It's so cool. Plus, you get an early access, and what I like about their VIPs too is they tend to give you a bunch of shit. Like, I think this one comes with like a lanyard, a T-shirt, a flag, posters, like all kinds of shit. And the Hatebreed one, I think that I got me and Dave is going to have something similar. I mean, because you guys know me. I love having flags in my background. I mean, you saw my old setup. It's still over there. I had to move my stuff on a different area. That's why this area is a little different, and sounds and the lighting is different. But my Hatebreed flag is still over there. And probably by the end of this year, this whole room will be covered in flags. But I really like them. My best friend, she actually got me a Miss May I flag. I'm waiting for her to ship it out to me. My homegirl, she still has one of my freaking Machine Head flags that she never gave me from we did VIP again with them. So I'm waiting for that one. But despite if I see a flag on that VIP, chances are I'm going to get it just so I can get the stupid flag. I plan on, in my backyard, when I have my own house, just fucking throwing them all in the background. Just like you just see poles of flags of different metal bands and shit. That's the goal, at least. So I'm getting them practice, or getting them ready just in case. So besides that, I think that's the majority of the shows I'm going to. I mean, I've already been to at least 4 or 5 of them already, and I'm not going to say I'm burned out, because I'm not. It just depends on which band it is. Like, I totally skipped out on Five Finger Death Punch. I'm a huge Five Finger Death Punch guy, and the problem I have with them is, again, it's the same show every tour. Right now, they're touring for their newest album, and they've only played maybe 2 songs off that. And that's probably where I'm going to go into a ranting part of this podcast is, why is it that every freaking band that is commercialized, I call it, always have to play the same fucking song, same fucking track, same set list. And they will brand it, oh, this is the tour for the new Afterlife album, but we're only going to give you guys 2 songs off that. Why? Why only 2 songs? It is a tour celebrating the release of the album. Why aren't you playing at least 5 of those songs? That's the point of a tour, in my opinion. There's a difference between doing a regular tour. Let's say you call it the Five Finger Death Punch. And just for an FYI, I'm just using them as an example. I'm not just trying to knock on Five Finger Death Punch. But the point of the matter is, no matter what band it is, let's say it's blank band world tour, that's your opportunity to play your biggest hits, songs you may not have played in such a long time, blah. Cool. But when you have an album, blank album name, world tour, it should be all about that album. People are hyped about the album. That is an opportunity for fans to listen to songs live that they know they're not going to get regularly. So why don't you take advantage of that? Unless, now, granted, I can use Korn as an example. Korn has admitted in certain interviews and stuff that where certain songs are harder to perform live. Like, I think it took them, 10 to 15 years to master and find a way to play Alone I Break live. And the song was an absolute fucking masterpiece. Being heard live, it was beautiful, it was sad, it was howling, it was wild on how they did it, but they found a way to do it. That I can understand in that context, but otherwise, but most of the time it seems like stuff that the band usually plays anyway, so why not play more songs off that? It makes zero sense to know you're doing a world tour for an album, but you're only going to play 1 to 2 songs off that just doesn't make any sense. Now, I've been told by, certain professionals, if you want to call it that the reason why they also do that is because, one, they want to get their hits out because everyone knows their hits. Everyone's there to have a good time. I totally get that. But at the same sense, it's like, I couldn't tell you how many times I've been in that crowd that I hear them complain about these bands always playing the same set list. Change it up a little. Bands that have been around for past, a whole decade should have more than enough material to come up with different set lists. Killswitch Engage, for example, they are playing a whole different set list compared to from the last year in Slipknot. I got a little thing I'm kind of whining about, and that's just because they won't play my favorite song, Just Barely Breathing. I remember I actually begged Jesse to play it, and he told me that it's hard to get it on rotation. I don't remember why he said it was hard, but I think it's just because the way they want to do it, the band has to come in agreement what songs they want to play live and then what they're also trying to get. So I hope they don't fall in that category where they start commercializing themselves, because it's going to suck, because that means I'll never hear that song live, more than likely. But reverting back to what I was saying is they are playing a different set list, and that made me totally stoked. I just wish more bands would do that every time they come around. Same with Slipknot. Now, I can't really knock on Slipknot, but I already know they're going to play the same shit they played in the last 3 tours. I guarantee it. I'm probably going to pull up the set list when they start their tour in October. Or when do they start? I think they start at the end of September. So I think in another week they should be on tour, so I can get a peek at the set list. But I guarantee it's going to be the same fucking set list that I saw from last year. I will not be surprised, minus maybe 1 or 2 new songs off the new album. Come on. I miss when Slipknot, even though when they were big, when they first started getting big and they were touring at these giant arenas, that they would still at least throw 1 to 2 songs you haven't heard in almost nearly a decade. They'd play a random song you haven't heard in forever too, and then they'd start playing some of their classic hits. Why can't you just go back to doing that? I just don't understand the whole, to me, as a fan, and I will say this and I'll stand by it, and I mean nothing but love for these bands, but it's lazy. What happened to the love for the music, guys? What happens about appeasing the fans? It makes no sense to hear that you guys are going to do the same shit every single time. When fans are paying to see a show, change up the show. Give us something different. Give us something, because eventually you're just going to wear the fans out, and you're not going to I could be totally talking my ass actually, but there's 50% of us that don't care, They just want to see Slipknot live. I get it. I'm just using Slipknot as an example tower. But there's 50 of us who are going to want to go there just to see them. But the other 50% wants to hear different shit. We don't want to hear Before I Forget 1,000 times. We don't want to hear Duality another fucking 20,000 times. That is why, like, with Metallica, granted, I haven't seen Metallica live yet, but I know they play the same thing every single time. I don't want to go, and even though it's going to be my first time seeing them, whenever I finally do, I don't even want to hear Enter Sandman because I know they played it 20 billion times. I don't want to hear freaking Creeping Death or Ecstasy of Gold as an intro. Like, I want to hear different shit. I don't want to hear the same fucking thing every single time, because otherwise the concert, like, fans like me, it gets boring real quickly. That was probably why I didn't enjoy the Slipknot concert last time, because it's the same fucking show. I went in there with a total mind. I made a deal with my friend that I went with that I wasn't gonna look at the set list. I was like, okay, I'll try and be surprised. They didn't even do nothing different. Let's flash back to 2 Slipknot concerts ago. They did the same thing. They toured 2 straight times. One was with Slayer, and the second time it was their world tour. 2 different set lists. It was awesome. It was amazing. They start off with the -1. It was such a badass intro. I felt like I was watching Slipknot again for the first time. But the last 2 times I saw Slipknot, it was like, oh, I'm just seeing another Slipknot that you can see on YouTube. You know, so that's enough for my ranting bitchiness about bands and repeating their set list. Despite that, I'm gonna have a lot of fun. I can't wait to go out there and have a blast. So, how long have we been recording this podcast? Oh, I'm only 16 minutes in. Cool. So let's move on to something I've been meaning to talk about. That is Mudvayne. Couldn't wait to talk about this. Mudvayne, finally got to see them after 14 years. I literally did the math. It was 14 years from 2022. Last time I saw him was 2008, 14 years ago. Last time I saw him was at the convention center, Albuquerque Convention Center, with my best friend Dave, aka Dark Steel Hydra. And seeing them again in Denver. Now, it was a little weird because, you know, it was the first time I ever traveled out of state for a band. So for me, it was kind of grueling because it's like, okay, what are we walking into? What kind of crowd are they going to be? How are these people going to be? Because, you know, here, when you're in your own home state, you already know how your crowd's going to be. Okay. Albuquerque is wild. Okay. You're going to have really cool people, really badass people that just act like they've known you forever. But then you're going to have a lot of dumb people, a lot of people who are just like want to be obnoxious, drunk, stupid. But despite that, you know their boundaries where they'll push it. So you're like, you know, you can still remain chill about it. Is that going to be the same in Denver? I don't know. Never traveled outside of Albuquerque for a concert. So going into Denver, we're going to the Mission Ballroom, and you know, we're standing there. We got a good time, and we are waiting for Mudvayne to come out. And now Power Man 5000 was the opening act. With that being said, we're sitting there, and you know, finally I started feeling out the crowd. I started talking to some random people, and sure as shit, they're just as chill as Albuquerque. In fact, even more chiller, it seemed like. I met some really cool people there. And you know, the best part, like, and I'll get to this later, but the best part, a point that I made when I was being interviewed one time about Mudvayne fans is when you meet another Mudvayne fan, you know they're a genuine Mudvayne fan. And what I mean by that is, you know how, you know, let's go back to Slipknot, okay? In high school, you knew who the posers were and you knew who weren't, okay? And it was the same, but the thing is, like, there's always those people who are wannabes, you know what I mean? And what I mean by that is, like, say they only listen to a couple songs, but they think they're a fan, okay? You don't get that with Mudvayne. You don't get that you rarely, on a rare basis, you meet someone who's like, oh yeah, I'm a huge Mudvayne fan, but I don't know who the hell they are. No, it's not like that. Most Mudvayne fans are 1000% diehard, true Mudvayne, just straight up brothers, okay? So when I was there, that's mainly what everyone was talking about. They couldn't believe it was actually happening. They couldn't believe that people were there. They couldn't believe that, Mudvayne had finally came back after all these years. Mudvayne is back. And it was just fun to talk about that. And on top of that, maybe I should post a video or a photo of me, but I dressed up as Chad Gray. I made a mask out of an old Joker mask. I repainted it, I recut it, restitched it, and just it was the first time I made a customized. I guess you can call it a cosplay, but like I do that every year for Slipknot. Anyways, I usually go as Corey Taylor. Sorry, checking my phone. For Slipknot concerts, I usually dress up as him for Halloween. So it's nothing new to me, but like I really did a lot of thought into that. I wore the overalls, I wore the undershirt, wore some wrist. Like I literally looked like Chad. It was so cool, and I got so many compliments on it. People were stopping me, taking pictures with me, and all that. And then when Mudvayne came out, it was almost like they didn't even skip a beat. Now I know a lot of people were talking shit, saying that they sound old, they sound gross, they don't sound like how they are. Bullshit. They had to warm up first. I mean, any band is going to sound like shit the first, 3 to 4 dates, but then after that, that's when their voice starts rolling up. So that's why you always hope that your city is at least midway point to the end of the point, because by then they're all warmed up. And Chad is one of those vocalists where he admits he has to warm up. So by that time, he's up, he's warmed. Gosh, man, they were so much fun live. It was so cool and so reminiscent. The way they did their stage setup was awesome. It was just mind-blowing that to know my high school hero band was there in front of me again. And it was so surreal. It was like the first time I was doing everything I could to soak it all up. I didn't mosh. I didn't go head jump. I mean, I headbanged the shit out of myself, but I didn't go moshing. I did not take my eyes off that stage. Not once. Not once. Unless someone hit me or something, like I had to move around like that. Except for this one annoying chick. No, maybe I'll talk about that later. But I was just trying to soak it in, because in my mind, in the back of my head, I'm like, I may never see these guys again. So let's enjoy them while I can. But they came out, tore the show down. It was amazing. They were, like I said, just it was Mudvayne. And the best part about Mudvayne, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and take shots here. Compared to a Hell Yeah show, Chad and Greg look so natural when they're in Mudvayne. Greg is like tuned in, and so is especially Chad. Chad's just like a whole nother entity when he's with Mudvayne compared to Hell Yeah, because I'm a Hell Yeah fan too. In my opinion, that's where they belong. They belong with Mudvayne. They don't belong. I mean, Hell Yeah, sure, they loved it. Chad, I know he missed doing it, but in my opinion, he looks more natural, sounds more natural, and fits the part more with Mudvayne than he did with Hell Yeah. And that's just the thing. Like, I'm watching them, and they didn't even seem like they missed a beat from when I saw them back in 2008. It was cool. They did their classic get up. They were all dressed in their old LD50 stuff. They played a really stellar set list. They played all the songs I really wanted to hear live. Sure, there was a couple, like, think about Mudvayne. They have a lot of miscellaneous songs that I'm just in love with, but I don't think they'll ever play them live. But I mean, who knows? Like, every time I say that, they end up playing the song live. So it was fun, and one of the dopest things happened to me was the band not recognized me, who I am. I mean, I met Chad a few times, but he wouldn't recognize me on the mask, obviously. But what was cool was that they took recognition that I was dressed up like them. They would come and take a look at me and high five me. Chad was all stoked as he'd come and scream right at me. It was so cool to get that with them. And then at the end of the night, I was kind of annoyed with this one dude because Greg tried throwing me his pick, and we thought we heard it fall down. So the security guard tried everything he can to help me find it. Apparently this fucker got it, and he's like, "Oh, I got it." I was all, okay. Greg was trying to give it to me, but the dude, I guess, fucking took it right under my nose. But whatever. But one of the crew members saw that, and they ran to the back and then ran back up to me and gave me the set list for Denver. And I was so stoked to get that. In fact, that's why fast forward to a week later, I'll tell that here in a second. I'm already getting ahead of myself. But you know, at the end of the night, leaving them stage, it took me and my best friend a while to walk off because I'm still soaking it in. I couldn't believe what just happened. We're also still taking photos. People are taking photos with me. It was just so surreal. I didn't want it to end. And finally, we went out and we bought ourselves some merchandise. We spent a lot of merch on merch alone. Like I bought I bought a shirt from Denver, and then I bought one out here. I bought some pins in Denver because I wanted to wear them when they came back out here. We just bought all kinds of shit. It was so much. It was so funny. It was the funniest thing about Denver that day was I call it an M Monday. And what I mean by that is because literally everything we did that day reverted into an M. We woke up, we ate breakfast, then we went to Meow Wolf. We went and got Mandu. We got mochi donuts. We went to Mudvayne, and then we fucking went to McDonald's for dinner. Because by the time we got out, everything was closed. So I was like, fuck, I guess we'll just get some McDonald's and eat on the way back to the hotel. Got back to the hotel room, we just relaxed. But I was still like, you know what I mean? Like that fucking in awe kind of phase about Mudvayne and shit. It was so much fun. And I couldn't believe I got to see them twice within a week span. Because after that, we came back to Albuquerque. She went back to Arizona. And so I was going to see them the following weekend, which I did. And same thing. I dressed up as Chad, threw on my face paint. I have a mask, but I didn't want to wear the mask the whole time because like my face would just like fucking burn. So I did the basic eye and the swirls on my face. Like I said, I'll probably post a picture later. But they come to Albuquerque, and now that was the nostalgic concert because you had Pyroman 5000, you had Static X, you had Mudvayne, and then you had Rob Zombie. That's straight up like 2000 era new metal shit. So it was gonna be a fucking blast. My only complaint about that show, okay, is the fact that you guys didn't have a fucking t-shirt to have all four bands with the tour. Come on. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, I go there right away. Everyone, like, I couldn't believe how many people were there, especially for Mudvayne. Like, god damn, like, it was kind of funny because at first when I got there, I was like maybe the only one besides one other dude that was a Mudvayne fan because he took pictures with me, and then we went inside the venue, and then I go to the pit, and then I'm like, where the fuck are all the Mudvayne fans? All of a sudden, like 10 minutes later, there's just a whole swarm of Mudvayne fans, and then crowds of Mudvayne fans. Like, holy shit, this is wild. I couldn't believe how many people were there for Mudvayne. I was like, so ecstatic. The thing that was stupid though is like throughout the show, Prime Man came out. They were fun again because I forgot to mention at Denver they did actually put up a pretty badass show, and it was the first time I ever saw them. But Power Man came out again. They were cool. They were fun. It was funny because when I got there, me and this other dude became some friends with this security guard there, and he's like an OG freaking what do you call it, punker, like or a punk, like OG status in your face kind of guy, and he was really fucking cool with us. And the funny thing is, I asked him right away, like, if he didn't mind helping me get a pick, and I explained to him what happened in Denver. He's like, "Oh no, dude, I'll make sure that doesn't happen. You will get your if it gets to you, we will get it for you." I was like, dude, you fucking have my thanks. But anyways, so we're sitting there. Power Man comes out. They throw a badass show, and then it was kind of cool because this guy next to me, he was pretty chill. He knew all of Power Man's songs, so they purposely gave him the pick. And then we tried getting the guy to my left a drumstick, but we didn't get it that one. Then Static X was getting ready to come out, and as Static X is coming out, I hear there's this guy who's there. They're all teasing me, saying, "Hey, look, you got competition," because there's another guy dressed as Chad, and he had actually the full blown fucking makeup and the Liberty spikes, blue hair, everything. I was like, well, he's got me beat on that because I tried doing some dye in my hair. It did not work too well because I have black hair. So, but despite that, what made me mad was I heard from people saying he was charging money to take pictures. I was like, what the fuck? I look at that guy straight in the eye, and he's like, "Hey, bro, want to take pictures?" Like, fuck no, dude. I do my pictures for free, homie. As soon as I said that, everybody in that crowd right away started grabbing pictures of me. What the fuck, people? Why do you deserve to get paid to be someone? Let me ask you this, okay? Why the fuck do you get to? Why do you have a right? Now, I'm probably gonna get hate on this, but I don't give a fuck. You're not that person. You're just an impersonator. Why should anyone pay you for it? You should take fun in the fact that people want to take pictures of you in the first place. Because I got ecstatic when people ask me, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" And it's funny because this always happens to me when I dress as Corey Taylor, and I always have to tell them, "I'm not Corey, dude." We know, but people don't know that. That shit always makes me laugh. But it is always my pleasure to take pictures with people for the fun of it. It's a lot of fucking fun. Why do you get to charge people? Why should you charge people? To me, that's kind of an asshole move. Now, I get if you're at a convention and you're one of those crazy TikTok girls that are cosplaying that put a lot of effort and work into it. I guess I can kind of see that, but in the same sense, to me, it's still the asshole move. Okay. So that's my little side rant of that. But despite that, it was cool. Everyone grabbed pictures of me. It was a lot of fun. Sad Gex came out. It was the first time seeing them too. It was so much fun. It sucks because I never got to see them with Wayne Static, but despite that, it was still a lot of fun. And their bass player was like, I was having fun with him because we were sitting there jamming and all that. It was a lot of fun. But then an incident happened. So after Static was done, the drummer purposely threw it to the guy to my left. We got him a drumstick, and the security guard was there. And as soon as it comes flying, I tap it on his shoulder. Security guard was my hand, so I'm like this, and he's like, "Okay, cool." Well, the fucking idiot next to me who got the pick from Power Man goes and grabs the drumstick and is like wrestling with him and trying to be all stupid. So the security guard gets in his face, pushes him back, and the guy pushes him back. And there was about to be a fucking fight. It was so fucking hilarious. That dude's nuts next to me completely disappeared because as soon as homeboy OG punk guy gets in his face, that dude's was just like a deer in headlights. You know, he's sitting there threatening him, telling him, "Dude, I'll fucking kick your ass, dude. Don't ever touch me, bro. Don't ever touch me. I was just playing, bro. I was never gonna take his own fucking touch me. I told you, don't ever fucking touch me." He grabs his face and throws it. Dude, I was laughing the whole time, and he was looking at me. I'm like, "Dude, I ain't fucking with you, dude. You don't be." I was like, "Don't be that stupid. Why are you being that stupid next to me? Like, dude, we're all here for fun, but don't fucking grab me." He's like, "I was just playing, dude. I was never gonna take you." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck, dude. Don't fucking touch other people." It's that plain simple. But the baffling part was, and this is for all you future concert goers or kiddos, or maybe even you're an adult, just fucking apologize. How hard is it to tell that guy that "My bad, dude, I didn't mean to grab you, dude. I was just having some fun. Don't touch me." "Okay, my bad, dude. I won't touch you. It won't happen again. My bad." It's not that fucking hard to have some manners. It really isn't. Even if you have a metal show, I don't care if it's metal. I don't care if it's rap. I don't care where you're at. Have some fucking decency and some fucking respect enough to apologize and have some manners. It's not that hard. Shit. Homeboy was right away cool with me. He knew I wasn't trying to fuck around. He knew I was trying to get that guy a drumstick. He's all worked up because it's his job to be that way. But me and him were talking right afterwards. He's like, "Nah, dude, I knew you weren't. I didn't mean to come off aggressive." I'm like, "Nah, dude, you're doing your job. I got your back. You got mine," kind of deal, you know? But this dude to my right still was just staring at him. He's like, "Ooh, quit fucking staring at me." He kept telling him. The funniest thing is he kept telling him, "Let's go fucking take a walk." Guy's like, "I don't want to." He's like, "Let's go take a walk." He's like, "I don't want to. Come on. I got to have a smoke. You smoke too? I saw you trying to light a cigarette. Let's go smoke to the side." And the guy's like, "No, I don't want to go smoke." I was like laughing, dude. And then the supervisor comes up. He's like, "Is there a problem here?" I said, "Nah, man, I'm just trying to tell this guy, let's go take a walk, bro." He's like, "Why do you want to take a walk with him?" He's like, "I just want to talk about the show." And I just couldn't stop laughing. Like, this dude was cracking me up. And this dude was just terrified next to me. And I'm like, I'm still baffled at the fact this motherfucker had the decency to not apologize and say, "My bad, it won't happen again." Come on, like, seriously. Grow the fuck up. Man up. I don't care if you're at a show. You're obviously not tough as you think you are, because look how you bitched out as soon as the security guard got in your face. Dude, I don't care. I'm a tough motherfucker too. But I never get rowdy with someone just for the fuck of it. It's just stupid. You're causing yourself drama. You're risking to get thrown out because you want to be an idiot. That happened to the Mudvayne guy. The other guy that charged for those pictures, he got thrown out because he was acting stupid. The same way, he was acting just as stupid. And guess what? They didn't put up with it. They fucking threw his ass out. Didn't apologize, nothing. Just fucking, that's it. Mind your manners. Keep your hands and your feet to your fucking self. It's not hard. Reality, it really isn't. When I'm at shows, dude, I'm like this. Okay? Palms, especially when a female is present. I do not want to run the risk of them feeling uncomfortable. I don't care if we're at a concert. Sure, people are going to say, well, that's the environment they put them. You're right, but you still have to have the decency as a human being to know that boundary and to at least show people and show them you're not trying to be that weird, creepy guy. Okay? Just throwing that out there. But anyways, show moves on. Mudvayne comes out. They're having technical difficulties. They had a big old like Mudvayne curtain thing, a banner, and they couldn't use it for the drop off in the intro because it kept getting stuck. So they just wound up dropping it. I was laughing at the security guard because he's like, I don't think it's gonna be that heavy. It drops right on him, dude. And I was that heavy? He's like, dude, that fucking thing's like a ton of bricks, bro. Like he was struggling to get out. But Mudvayne comes out, and they were amazing, especially with how huge that crowd was and how they handled it. It definitely shows that they're definitely ready for the big leagues. They had the same exact stage setup as when they came, when they were out in Denver. But it was cool because I was just teasing that I never understood why they had the stairs. They have this these in the back, they had these stairs, and Ryan would use them. I would watch videos and I'd see him jumping up there and running around and stuff. I never see Chad. Usually when they have those stairs, usually the lead singers like to go up there and be by the banners and see the whole crowd and stuff. It's kind of a cool little thing to see them do. But no one was using them but Ryan. And Ryan's the bass player, by the way. Well, as soon as I'm talking shit saying that, there goes fucking Chad slowly climbing those steps. I was like, what the fuck? He's using the stairs. I was so happy to see that. I don't know why. It was such a dumb thing to be happy about, but it was during their time to play Eternal Primates. And I hope they release the footage of them because he gets the crowd jumping up and down. And I can only imagine what that view would be like from all the way the fuck up there with that many people in the crowd for them. But the show was badass. He came out with new red and black gear. It was so cool. That was originally what I wanted to do. I wanted to do black overalls, but I was like, no, I better stick to the OG blue ones. But he did the black ones for Albuquerque, and they were so sick. They stole the show. I don't care what anyone says. They fucking blew Zombie out the water, and they should have been the main headliners. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. Rob came out. He was cool. But it's Rob doing the same fucking thing he does every time. It was just a very lighted show. Like they had like a bunch of like TV graphics and shit. At that time, I was actually looking for my friends. I ran to a couple of friends of mine and talked to them for a minute before I was getting ready to head out. And then I stopped and got me another shirt. I had to get my friend, her boss, something as a thank you for letting her come out to Denver at such short notice. So that was more my priority than watching Rob Zombie's full show. Like I got to watch a good portion of him, but I've seen Rob enough times to be like, oh, it's the same show again. Like I said, if it's the same show, I don't care to be a part of it. So, you know, in the beginning of the show, as I'm walking up to, this is something I didn't get a chance to touch base on, but I feel so stupid because I ran into Wombat. Now, Wombat has been Mudvayne's photographer and video recorder. He's been he's been like the promoter of their stuff, and he's funny because he's interviewing this guy who's pretending to be a Mudvayne fan. And why I say he's pretending, well, because he didn't know shit about Mudvayne. I'm listening to the conversation. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's not in Mudvayne gear. I don't see any Mudvayne, like anything on him Mudvayne. I'm like, why are you interviewing him? Well, Wombat takes a peek at me and he just smiles and I'm smiling, and he's like, all right, and he right away rushes through the interview. He's like, all right, dude. He comes up to me. He's like, hey, dude, can you talk to me? I was all, yeah. So we go to the side and he starts interviewing me, and it's just like a Mudvayne like fan interview. So we're sitting there talking, and that was the point I wanted to make to him, was that he's like, what separates Mudvayne fans from other fans? I was like, well, what separates them is, like I said, when you meet another Mudvayne fan, they're a genuine Mudvayne fan. And it was so cool to sit there and talk to Wombat. He was sitting there interviewing me, and I told him like to tell the band like they came at the time when we needed them the most, and I'm so happy they're there. Once we finish the interview, I walk with him and I'm talking to him. He's like, "Where are you gonna be up the front?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be up there in the front." He's like, "Cool, I'm gonna get a bunch of shots of you, so just look your rageous rage." I was like, "Definitely will." And we're sitting there talking, and I asked him, "Well, what happened to the? How come Mudvayne didn't do no VIP?" Because I really wanted to meet the whole crew together. And he told me they're still like kind of freaked out about because they caught COVID last year in for their big festivals, and they had to skip out on a show or two. So they've been kind of weary about that, but he told me next time they're definitely going to bring it when they go on another world tour, which it's in the books. I can tell it's going to happen. So it was different this time. When I saw Mudvayne leave, I didn't feel like I was never going to see them again. It was more of like a relief that I was just more grateful I could see them. But I had a feeling of from Denver, I was like, I feel like I'm never going to see them again. But then when they left Albuquerque, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see them again. Like it was total different mentalities. It was kind of weird. And again, the same chick who gave me that set list for Denver came running out and gave me the one from Albuquerque. So shout out to her. I wish I knew her name because I owe her a big thank you for that. Heck, where the hell did I put those set lists? I'm about to find them and show them later, but yeah, it was intense to see them that many times and very emotional. There was a moment where I was looking at the banners and I just couldn't believe that I was finally going to see the band that helped mold me and help shape me into a man that I am now come back. And people may think like it's not a big deal, but it really is. Those are the ones that don't understand the whole power and totality that music brings to one's soul and morality and mentality. I know for sure I wouldn't be here without it. It was growing up. It was hard for me to really let people in, especially my own family. It was hard for me to really express myself, and music was a way for me to be that and also to escape. I've had my heart broken, shredded, torn to bits, and music helped me find a way to glue and stick those pieces back together until not only did it help me stick them back together, but when I fell again, it helped me just form a brand new one. And it helped me push forward, and it continues to drive me further than most things ever will. And when I'm in the gym, I totally zone into music. Like I will refuse to work out without music. And when you talk about me as a person, okay, and those who know me for decades will always know I am always associated with Mudvayne. Mudvayne was my first tattoo. Mudvayne was my number one band for years. I mean, even when they're long gone, I still held on Mudvayne with every in my life. I have multiple Mudvayne tattoos. In fact, I actually just got their new banner tattooed on my leg. That band meant a lot for me growing up as a kid, and it got me through a lot of crazy shit in my life and a lot of things that not a lot of people know about. And the only ones that know about that is me and that music. And it's just wild that, you know, after going from feeling like you're never going to see them again to all of a sudden they're just there. You know what I mean? So it was very, very, very surreal, I guess you can put it. It was very surreal to see them on that stage, and I got a little emotional, and I just was more than grateful that I got to see them again. After all these years, I held that love on strong. I held that love for that band strong, and you know, seeing them again and hearing the songs that just have helped me through so much in my life was just, it was amazing. It was, simply put it was amazing, and I couldn't thank them more for it. So can't wait to see them again. I damn sure will go see them again if they come around here. But until then, you know, I was fulfilled. My appetite was fulfilled to see them live, and I can't wait to see what's next for them. So, okay. You know, as we talk about concerts, you know, the funny thing is, um, it's wild how, when you're someone who's antisocial, I mean, and sure, I'm a different person. I'm not really as antisocial as I lead on to be. I used to be. I was really bad at antisocialing, like super bad. I'm a way better person than now. Most people don't even recognize my personality because of how much drastic it has changed from over the course of the years. I'm more open. I'm more wild. I'm more fuck it kind of attitude, and it's been awesome being that way, to be honest. But when you were, it was funny because like, I don't like being around a lot of people. I don't like being, you know, I don't even like being touched by fucking strangers. I really don't. And it's something I also don't like at work. Like, you should see me at work. It was funny. Like, I was already practicing the 6 feet thing before it was even a thing with COVID. So like, it was nothing to me when they told us, oh, you got to make sure you stay 6 feet apart. It bugs the shit out of my customers. They're like, I ain't sick. I don't care. I don't want you that close. You don't need to be in my face like that. But anyways, despite the fact, it's funny how when I was an antisocial person and someone who doesn't like to be around people, concerts, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm sardined up and, having a blast. And it's just so funny how a show's, your whole mentality changes once you enter the building for a concert. It's just crazy, and it's like a whole, like, I've talked about this plenty of times in my gameplays, my podcast, just random conversations. Just how much fun these shows are, how much energy goes into it, how in tune you are with everybody. It's just a whole nother entity all on its own. And it's funny how, like I said, when you're someone who's antisocial and doesn't talk a lot, you go there and all of a sudden you're just a fucking blabbermouth. All of a sudden you just relate to everybody. It's the one time you can walk into a building full of strangers and feel like you're right at home. Tell me where else you can feel like that. Reality, where can you really feel like that? You can't go to the fucking bowling alley and be like, oh yeah, I know all these people, and just like it's not the same. And it's just, it's kind of crazy how, every time, like these last couple of years, I'm like, how many more shows am I really going to go to? How many times am I going to keep going to these things? And I think when I went to Chaos Carnage with my two best friends, Yogi Bear and Hydra, that really brought back the passion and the hunger in me to do these shows, to go out there, mosh, jump around, headbang, scream at the top of my lungs. And I don't care how old you are, get the fuck up and go have fun, let loose. Like, that's one thing I'm sick of hearing from my friends. I'm sick of hearing from people is, oh, I'm too old for that. I'm this. Motherfucker, you're only as old as you make yourself feel. Like, me, I work out every day, at least as much as I try to work out every day. I do my best so I can keep doing this shit like I'm still young. I'm not old by any means. Sometimes I'll tease it, but I'm not old by any means. That was a problem I had to tell myself. You're not old. You're not stale. Get your ass up and move. Stop being a fucking throwing yourself this pity party. Get the fuck up and move. And, do it. Don't sit there and fucking whine about it. Because, like, why sit there and whine about that you're older, you should just stay home, and then you're just pissed at yourself because you didn't end up going? Just fucking do it. Life's too short for you to sit there and be like, oh, I'm too good. I'm too good for this. I'm not good enough for this. I'm too heavy. I'm too light. I'm too old. I'm too young. No, get the fuck up and go do something. Go do it. And because if you keep that mindset of, can't, won't, dude, you're never gonna enjoy your life. I'm sorry, but you're not. And this is coming from someone who had to fight off depression, who had to fight off loneliness, who had to fight off his biggest critic of all, which was me. I had to fight all that off all on my own to teach myself that big lesson, which is, the more you sit there and wallow in your self-pity, the more shit's gonna stay the same. Just wake up and tell yourself, no more. I'm not gonna do this anymore. Trust me, your day will change 1,000% that day. I'm telling you. It's like they say, you really do feel the way you make yourself feel. So if you feel like you're on your rolls, yeah, you're gonna have that mentality. Get up and go do something. Have fun. Enjoy your life. We're here one time. At least I think we're here one time. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into the whole biblical shit. But my point of the matter is, as far as we know, we're here one time. Enjoy it. Go out there and have fun. Go to concerts. Go to bowling. Go play pool table. Like, don't sit there and be like, oh, I wish. Just fucking do it. Because if you don't, there's a whole life out there that you're missing. And like I said, I had to teach myself that. And don't sit there and think I don't know what I'm talking about, because I do. I've been there. I've done that. I literally let 8 years of depression run my life and ruin my life. And the only person was to blame for it wasn't those who caused it. It was me, because I chose to sit there and let that depression take over instead of just doing something about it. No, I didn't need to talk to no shrink. No, I didn't need to pick up a bottle. No, I didn't need to down some pills. I just had to pick myself up and tell me, no more. Get up and do something. There's no reason for this. You're better than this. There's a quote I always say to myself. Every time I work out, every time I look in the mirror, is if no one has your back, if no one there pushes you, you push yourself twice as hard. Have your own back. It's crazy because me being that way has really taught me self-importance and I wouldn't say self-reflection, but more of like self-awareness. Like, I got my own back, okay? A lot of people do tell me, oh, you can talk to me if you need to, and I appreciate that. But I don't want to anymore. I'm tired of telling people what's going on with me, because people, they care for the moment, but they don't care forever. And for me, sure, it's good to get things off your chest, but the whole point of it is to make it to where it's no longer a problem. It should be something you solve. And the only way I feel like you solve it is, or at least I solve my problems, is I solve them on my own. Sure, I'll let some stuff out here and there. I'll tell someone something that's on my mind, but like, I eventually find a solution through it, because they're always like, oh, sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully it gets better. And I'm sick of hearing that shit. I'm sick of hearing sorry. I'm sick of hearing the same old cliche bullshit. And I've heard it 1,000 times. I don't need to hear it 1,020 times again, you know? So, yeah. That took a turn, but you know, I feel like to today's standards, I feel like we don't really express ourselves as much as we used to. I feel like we don't really rely on ourselves as much as we need to. And like, sure, it's great to rely on people. I will never down you for that. But what are you going to do when those people aren't around you? You need to find a way, a solution to be able to pick yourself up and motivate yourself, because next time that Stelly girl fucking comes and breaks your heart, you should be able to be like, you know, fuck it, I can do better. She was not good for me in the beginning. You know, you need to tell yourself that, because what I've learned is, and this is just not only from receiving advice, but also giving advice, is people do, they say they will take your advice, but in reality, they don't. Okay. They will not learn until they do it themselves. They will not listen until they tell them themselves. You can build the foundation for them, but they still need to lay that first brick in order for it to start formulating into an actual structure. Okay? So me understanding that and recognizing that was a huge step in a direction I was happy to take, because now I can be however I want, whoever I want, and not have to worry about how my personality is going to reflect the person next door. And I don't care what anyone says. Your self importance is more important than anyone else. Okay. And the down part about that is, and I was telling this to a friend, is yeah, you do get colder being that way. You tend to have more of a stone heart, but is that really a bad thing? No, because when things happen that could make or break the next person, you're able to get up the next day and brush your teeth and go start the day. Like, to me, I see it as more of a win. I see it more as a perk of understanding your own emotion as a human being. And like I said, and going back to like the whole music thing has helped me shaped into this type of person, to help speed up the process of the depression, of the happiness, of the love, and all that stuff, and just find a way to mold it into this type of unheard of steel that I can put as a coating over myself to make myself feel better and to get to the next edge and get to that next level without having to risk, what's the proper term? Not having to risk exposing myself to people anymore. And I don't care what anyone says. I choose me over you 1,000 times, and that's how it should be. But anyways, guys, I feel like I've ranted enough tonight, so I hope you enjoy this video. It feels so good to be back and talking and being in front of a camera. I can't wait to do it some more. Before I go, I do want to make a statement that definitely expect more. This is why I was working on, is honestly getting this shit going again. Halloween's right around the corner. I cannot wait for spooky season, so I will have a lot more. I'm going to be doing another spooky session. I'm trying to get more guests on here. If not, I'm still going to just revert their stories over to you. And yeah, like, I have a lot of exciting things coming into the podcast, and I just can't wait to share them. So catch some of my bits and pieces on here. I'm going to post some of the stuff on TikTok, on Instagram. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed my little solo dolo thing here, and I can't wait to talk more about it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care.